It's been a little while since I posted a video talking about my concerns of our country, the culture that the country is following, both in our government and our populace. Saw a couple of videos tonight that I found disturbing. It has to do with the Black Lives Matters movement. We have a couple of domestic terrorists in our midst, apparently. People calling for the deaths of white people and law enforcement. Louis Farrakhan and this individual called King Noble that apparently are self-appointed leaders of this Black Lives Matters movement. Let me let you in on a little secret. All lives matter, you jackasses. If you don't want to get hauled off to jail, shot, or tackled by some police, here's a hint. Obey the law. Don't attack a police officer, and don't commit a crime. It's that simple. You know how many black individuals and families I know that have never been locked up, never been shot at, unless it was in their neighborhood they were growing up in, and usually it was by other black people? Yet, your strife that you deal with every day, which has been brought upon by yourself, you hold against us, the white people. I'm a native Texan. Grown up in Texas, still live here. I'm a proud Texan. We grew up, my grandfather, my father, and I watched them give food, clothing, and other items to poor black families we knew who were barely getting along. You know, that's the way my family was, very giving. Still are. Never even knew racism, per se. Heard of it, but we did not practice it. But yet now, because of some black criminals being killed because they broke the law or attacked a police officer, or died because of the fact that they refused commands from a police officer while in custody, and of course some other little old gal gets in trouble, hangs herself in her cell, and everybody's trying to blame it on the police. You know, that to me seems kind of odd. Why are we blaming the police and the white people? If I was to walk up, rob a store like Michael Brown did, then be caught going down the street later and a police officer pulls me over and I attack that police officer, you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to put a bullet in me. Color don't matter. You break the law, you attack a police officer, you endanger an officer's life, or you endanger the lives of the public, and you fail to follow the commands of a law enforcement officer, hey, you get what's coming to you. Just kind of like what old Forrest Gump said, stupid is as stupid does. And that's how I'm going to say it. But when you call for the death of law enforcement officers who put their lives on the line every single day, and then white people in general, that's disturbing. That should be considered domestic terrorism. And that's how I see it, is domestic terrorism. If an ISIS leader took a stand in a town and said, we're going to start killing the inhabitants of this town, you think anybody's going to stand for that? Honestly, you think any law-abiding citizen and a gun owner at that is going to put up with some guy threatening to kill people in his town? The first time he attempted that, he'd end up in a body bag. You can't sit and make threats to an entire race and not accept repercussions. But of course, I've seen videos of how some of these thugs, but yet are heralded as heroes and leaders in their culture, they attack in groups of 5 or 6, and they'll attack a man, or 2 or 3 will attack a woman. I even saw one where they were videotaping it where 2 or 3 of them attacked a young white woman walking down the street, and they simply accosted her and started attacking her. I even saw one that was very disturbing, attacking a young mother pushing her child in a stroller. So you're expected to hold that against us because you break the law and act like animals. That's not right. And to sit there and say that y'all have been prey for all these years and now you're the predator, that is equally disturbing. To say that you were the prey and now you're the predator. Okay, I don't know of anybody that I've run into in the state of Texas in my entire life, almost 50 years, that actively pursues or hunts black people. At what point do you think you're the prey? You know what? You make yourself the prey when you break the law. When you break the law and threaten people and attack police officers, you're not the prey, you're the problem. And the problem's being dealt with. If you expect to attack law-abiding citizens and law enforcement officers and not suffer the consequences, that shows that you are just intellectually bankrupt. The only thing you're using your head for is a hat rack. That's it. You cannot claim to be intelligent or a leader if your thought process revolves around that. You know, Texans are a proud sort. Honestly, if that's something like that starts happening down here, you don't think the Texas populace would react accordingly? You know, you're talking like you outnumber us. We're all equals. And now you're trying to put yourself up on a pedestal. Nobody sits higher than us. Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. We all bleed red when we're cut. We all bleed. And for you to think, King Noble, that this is now the beginning of the execution of law enforcement and white people, you're a fool. If you don't want to become executed, as you call it, try not breaking the law. Try not acting like a thug. Why don't you become a contributing part of society, like most of us are? Of all the black people I've known in my life, I can't think of any that thought they were being hunted or were prey. The ones few that did had rap sheets to go along with it. So if you're the problem, well, you're the problem. You create your own problems. People choose to go out and make their life what it is. If you choose to make your life a big bucket of steaming shit, that's what you're going to get. If you choose to make something of your life, raise a family, and be a contributing member of society, everything goes fine. But for you to think that you're going to call for the assassination and extermination of white people and law enforcement, you're an idiot. You are truly showing your ignorance. And this Black Lives Matter? No, all lives matter. That's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. Everybody's lives matter. Don't be the problem, be the solution. But if you think that at any point that you're going to go out and attack law-abiding people, especially in Texas, law-abiding people, and we love our firearms, we love our Second Amendment rights, you're a fool. Because if you expect something like that to happen and not happen back to you, you're truly ignorant. Killing officers is not the way to get your point across. You want to get your point across? Become a role model in your society. Become a role model in your neighborhood. Be a positive influence. Promote children getting an education. Promote young men not becoming young fathers. Promote responsibility. Going out and creating this thug life that everybody seems to revel in. This is going to get you nowhere. It's either going to get you incarceration or put in the ground. That's your choice. I know a lot of people that are white that have made a lot of mistakes, and some of them still continue to do it. But you, as a group, cannot take the entire bunch and throw out the entire bunch because of a few bad apples. In every race, you have your good and your bad. But yet, you're blinded by your own ignorance and your own hate. Yet you call us the racist, but yet I'm not on the internet spreading the word white lives matter. Hey, let's go kill a bunch of black people. That's ridiculous. That gets you nowhere. You're trying to say the race war has started. That's foolish. In your head, maybe it started. Maybe you're thinking just because a few police officers died, you think you started a race war. All you've done is increase the pressure upon yourself. To think that you're going to go through this and not suffer the consequences, you're foolish. You're not above the law, nor are you the law. You're just an ignorant individual. And for some reason you feel empowered because of your skin color. Do I feel empowered because of my skin color? Absolutely not. I have to work for everything I get. It's about time you got off your ass and you did the same thing. I don't understand this. You know, I do put a lot of blame on Washington, D.C. because Barack Obama has sat silent while officers have been killed, but yet Michael Brown dies. We will see through that this is investigated thoroughly. He was guilty from the get-go. Trayvon Martin, same thing. Now, if you're going to sit here and get involved in something, why don't you get involved in repairing our country? Quit dividing it. Quit being a fool. You're about as worthless as a midget with a yo.